And again, there's a 1/16 dip, so I add 1/16 and cut. And now the idea in the instructions is to glue this rod or pieces of this rod to each end, and then you thread those through holes that you drill into the dishes here, and then finish off the backs. Definitely going to be tough to do on there. Basically, no matter where you drill, it's always going to look like you drilled through. So I'm still thinking about how I'm going to tackle that and see if I can do it a different way. But I want to let these pieces, such as that cross piece there, and oh, this one's already flown apart on me. Why? Because it glued to me. And it flipped over, apparently, when I wasn't looking. So this is definitely a situation where patience is an immense help. Well, here's the first test result. That's just sticking both ends in there, and you can see it is very dramatically above where I thought that should go. The directions do say that antenna should be 3/8 sticking through, and that is 3/8 sticking through. It also says the crossbar should be the diameter across, or it should be the length of the diameter. However, that's clearly set too far. So we'll see how this proceeds. Right now it's not glued in, so there's no problems there. I can always make the spike longer. That's not too difficult. But then getting this to glue down could be difficult. Pretty sure this should be flat across though. So this leg here is just slightly too short. I'm going to have to go back and check my reference. It could be that it bows out that much, but I'm thinking it's probably closer to that 3/8 mark, which means chopping here and there. And unfortunately, it looks like when I glued this on, I put this guy off cockeyed by 1 degree. And there isn't going to be any way to pull this off and fix that problem. Unless it was molded that way originally, but I doubt it. Hey, that's going to look great over there when that's finally in. And I haven't been recording anything. So no worries here, this one is just friction fit in. This guy is glued in, but I'm about to demonstrate how I got that into place and sized correctly. And all without drilling into the dishes as the instructions suggest. So I'll talk about this guy when I go to undo that. That's just sitting there to get used to the situation. And over here, the directions suggest cutting your crossbars to the diameter of the outer shell. What I found is a little different. What I first tried was removing the spike, placing the piece in and figuring it down to right about where the outer edges of the clips are on this thing. Press it down into the center and then cut to the outer edges of these internal clips. Put the rod back in, and that still produces a very large situation. So once your rod is set in place, hold it on top of where you want, and then bend your pieces into place. So these guys are all just the same amount off by just a little. And I realize if I guess wrong here at this point on these cuts, I gotta build this whole thing again. And this is like the 5th time I built this one, and only the 2nd one that was successful. That's a little better fit. That's still wide going across. And see how finicky this thing can be. It turns out that I did get this top and bottom wrong. They are cut a little too short. Looking side by side, this angle here is definitely a match for the other side, so I have to raise the center spike upwards. And now that I've just lost the top and bottom and side, yeah, this should be the right one. So I have a couple options for this. I can go and glue it down as is, knowing that at least the sides are okay, or I could rotate it so that's top and bottom, in which case I would just glue down this top bar because that's closer to where it needs to be, and then wait and glue down the bottom. Right now they're both just a hair too short. Now at the center dish here, I think I'm going to wait on that just a little bit. And something of a first for me, I've actually gone with a wood repair, and seeing as how good it looks right now, I wish I'd done wood in the first place for all of this, because of course the bend is going to be so much more natural than styrene would get. I happen to have the sheet of balsa wood, which, as you might be able to see, is basically like planks for floors or walls. So I cut a strip of that off, cut it to length, trimmed it down, and voila! What a bend on that. So nice. The top bend is good too. This bottom and this side here, well, they probably have a little too much extra length on them, but I'm going with what is there. Over here on this guy, it's only this one corner that is glued down right now. The little cusps that are supposed to hold the panels in place are one notch off. So if I did that, it would be off by however many degrees that is, probably 10 or so I would expect. So I have to glue this to the bare plastic and then trim away those guards, because they're kind of useless without that. And then this kid is done. Holy crud, after all these years of moaning and complaining, this kid is finally just about done. Over there you can see that I've installed the arms onto it. Nice and easy to do. Nothing worth really talking about. So yeah. Excellent.